Hi, I'm Jackie Brenda from Smelly Dog. Thank you for tuning in today for another Yappy Hour series. Today I have Eric Cohen. Hi, Eric. Welcome.
Hi, Jackie. Good to be with you. This is my little Boston Terrier named Cubbie. You can assume that based on the fact that I'm in sports radio and co-host a weekday radio show for 1580 The Fanatic called The Daily Blender from 3 to 6 p.m. I'm a big sports fan, and so this guy is named after the North Side baseball team in Chicago, the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, my goodness. He is so handsome. Hi, Cubbie. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
He's being a little standoffish today, as we know Boston Terriers are. He's almost 4 years old. I got him about 14 months ago. Ironically, his name was Tom Brady, so we needed to change that. That immediately needed to be changed. We couldn't let that fly. But he has adapted very well to his name, and he's a spoiled little pup. Let me tell you what.
I love it. Well, I have Boston Terriers as well, and I heard that you were a Cubs fan. So I have my Cubs gear on today.
I love it.
I have Miss Penny is here with me today, and she's sporting her Cubs stuff. And we have a special surprise for you. Via Zoom, we can do virtual backgrounds. And so just to make you feel a little bit more at home here, we're going to do a Wrigley Field.
There we go. I love it.
Welcome to Wrigley Field, everyone.
See,
so we can we can pretend.
You came prepared today, Jackie, with the shirt and then the dog shirt. You know, I don't even own a dog shirt for him. I have a Cubs chew toy for him, and I have a beanbag that he likes to sleep in. Other than that, I gotta work on that. I need to get one of those jerseys like you have.
The jerseys are fun. The jerseys are fun, right, Penny? Yes. Well, thanks so much for coming on today. I'm so excited to talk sports because of coronavirus, we're all at home right now. And I know a lot of people are going a little bit crazy because, you know, normally March and April are times when we've got so much sports going on. And right now we don't. So first, let's get into, I want to know what you hear about, I hear that they're talking about bringing professional baseball to Arizona and using the spring training fields and putting them up in hotels to keep it safer and no audience during the games. What do you hear about that? And tell me your thoughts.
Well, I still think it's a long shot possibility there, Jackie. At this point right now, we have not seen that much progress in the 5 or 6 weeks since we've had, since sports have been on hold. So I'm growing more pessimistic by the day, and I like to be optimistic at first as, they'll be back, everything will be fine. I'm starting to grow more pessimistic. I don't know what to expect. The latest proposal is a 3-state, Florida, Texas, Arizona, where the league would be divided presumably into 10 teams in each state, and they would rotate and play each other for now. That's an option. At this point, I would put the chances of us having a baseball season as probably about 40%. But if it does happen, I would love to see Arizona, the plan that they have. You play games at 8 a.m., you play games at 8 p.m., you avoid the major heat times, you can play a few games a day in Chase Field. Shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Oh, so you're saying there's still a chance.
There's a chance. I'm going to give it a chance.
There's a chance.
A little bit of a chance. But
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'm just not that optimistic. And as you know, last week I was more, the week before I was more, but right now it's almost May and we don't have a plan in place. And baseball, you need to play probably a minimum of 81 games, which is half a season or more than that. So I really hope we get something, Jackie. I'm worried about football though. That's my favorite sport, and I don't know what to expect for this fall. It could be, at this point, it's hard to go on radio and talk sports every day. I don't know what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, okay, so before we go to sports, let me mention today's drink is a rum and Coke because that's your go-to drink for happy hour. So for Yappy Hour today. And you've got a U of A.
I've got my U of A cup. I got to find a way to position it. There we go. My U of A cup. I'm a proud Wildcat, so take a.
Well, so I've got my rum and Coke today. And for the pups, I did a yum and cluck. So I did some chicken broth and a little bit of molasses, which is in rum. So I've got a little Yappy Hour drink.
Oh, look at this. Penny loves that. Yeah.
Yes, hers loves it. Yum, yum.
You see that?
So now, okay, for football, I want to introduce you.
Okay.
So, well, a little birdie, AKA Laura, my producer, told me that you went to U of A. So I'm from Texas. I'm a Texas Tech Red Raider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Yep.
Yep. Thumbs up. Guns up.
Guns up.
So my husband, though, went to ASU, and we live in Tempe, Arizona. He's a huge Sun Devil.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Bond. This is my old man doggy. Oh,
look at Mr. Bond. Look at him.
Oh, and he's wearing his ASU jersey.
All right, so how old are your dogs, Jackie? I know Penny looks younger than Mr. Bond.
Yes, so Mr. Bond is 14.
14?
He's a Christmas baby. And, you know, I have fed them really great food their entire life, and they've had really active lives. I'm fortunate enough to own a healthy dog food store and health center. So we have doggy daycare and all kinds of stuff. So my dogs go to daycare and they play all the time and they exercise a lot, and they stay really active, and I feed them really good food. So I have really healthy dogs. So Penny, who thinks that she is still a puppy, and most people think she is because she's tiny. She was the runt. She is next month she'll be 12.
Wow, that is crazy. So you've really taken good care of your dogs with good and healthy eating. I got to ask you a question. So he has been having trouble eating breakfast, and he'll eat dinner for sure. I'll get home after my show at 6:30 and feed him dinner, and he's all about it. But breakfast around 8:30, he's not going there. So I decided in the last couple of days to start putting shredded cheese on there, shredded cheddar cheese, a little bit. Is that okay for him?
Okay, couple of things. Let me ask you a couple of questions. First of all is, if he doesn't eat it, do you pick it up or do you just free feed him?
I kind of, a hybrid of that. I kind of force him. I stand there until he gets interested, which could be up to 5 minutes. Okay.
And then if he doesn't eat it, do you pick it up?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the first thing I'm going to say. Good. Kudos to you. Because a lot of the times when you see problem eating in dogs, a lot of times that stems from free feeding. So ding, 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 plus points for you. You're doing good there. Now, as far as putting the shredded cheese, that has a lot of fat in it, and it's not necessarily good fat or protein. A little bit every now and then.
A little bit, right.
Yeah, a little bit. But if you think about the size of their stomach and the size of our stomach, just a little bit of cheese is a lot for them. So as an alternative, you might try to think about something like something that's just pure protein, like a beef or chicken that there's lots of dehydrated. We have a lot of that at our store that people use, and you can just crumble it over food for problem eaters. You just keep it in a bag on it's shelf stable, and it's just pure protein and packs a good nutrition punch. And it really, typically most dogs, it's a good driver for dogs to want to eat, because it's just that pure protein.
Yeah, see, I will put, some like a supplement. I throw that in his dinner, for to keep his coat shiny. It's kind of, what do they call it? The omega supplement. Oh, yeah. So I'll do that. And obviously, I'll take him to daycare every day because I like him to get play when I'm out of the house. I don't want him to just sit around, especially at this age. The question about daycare is, at what age do you think do you stop taking them to daycare, or do you just continue to do it throughout their entire lives?
Well, I've seen everything. So I've owned my daycare for 10, going on 11 years now. And so it depends on the dog. Some dogs are very active and they'll stay active. So like Penny is 12 years old, for example, and she goes to daycare and she runs and plays every day. So for those dogs, absolutely. Some dogs, as they get older, they really slow down, and they're not able to run and play as much. And for those dogs, It just kind of depends. So Mr. Bond, for example, he still goes to daycare. And what he does is, and the daycare people, wherever you take them to daycare, you talk to them and they'll get to know your dog very well and they'll let you know. And then what he does is he plays for a little while and then he goes and finds himself a spot and he takes a nap and then he gets back up and he plays for a little bit and then he goes and takes a nap. And what's great about that is even though, because I know a lot of people think, well, am I going to pay for my dog to take a nap? But in the big scheme of things, they're still getting a lot more exercise than just sleeping all day on the couch.
Yeah, and it also, another thing about doggy daycare, and I would recommend it for everyone, is peace of mind. It really, when I'm at work, I don't have to worry about leaving him home. I tried to do that when I first got him, leave him at home, and I just felt bad. It just made me feel worse. And, if you find a place that's affordable and they care about your dog and they take good care of him, as I know that Smelly Dog does, I'll tell you what, I would recommend it to everyone. It's good for him. He's zonked by the time I pick him up at night. And it's good for me to know that, hey, listen, I'm giving this guy a good life and I'm helping provide that for him. And that makes me feel good.
Well, that's a good shout out for doggy daycare because I think you're right. A lot of people don't understand what doggy daycare is. They think, oh, you're just spoiling a dog, but you summed it up really well. It is a really good thing to give their dog a job during the day because you're going to your job and their job is play. So you drop them off with someone who is trusted. And, there are many daycare centers around the Phoenix Valley or wherever you are listening and that will take good care of your dogs. And they run and play. They socialize with people. At the end of the day, you're tired. They're tired. Everybody goes home and they can have a Yappy Hour.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. A Yappy Hour. And I mean, this guy, usually he is full of run and play. I think right now he's like, all right, I'm tired. I just want to lay down. I want to get a nap before I eat again. But he is, I'll tell you, getting a dog, Jackie, I was, got him last year. I was 36 when I got my first dog. And I mean, it's been a great responsibility for me. Obviously I'd like to have kids one day, assuming all goes well. And it's been really a good lesson to me as to, gotta stick to routines. As much as I may not want to wake up in the morning, I gotta wake up and take him for a walk. I have to, make sure to feed him. It doesn't matter if I want to sleep in. If he's ready to go, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. I have to ask you as well, since you know better than most. I am one where I'll leave my bedroom door open, and if he wants to jump up on my bed, it doesn't bother me for the most part, but I know that bothers some people. What is the right way to detrain a dog from doing that?
From jumping up on the bed? Oh, well, that's a handful right there. So if you want to train a dog to stop doing something that you've already done, you actually might need a trainer to help you a little bit more on that. But I always like to suggest positive training. And in fact, I had a really great guest on my podcast a couple months back who talked about positive training, and he worked with animals in a zoo and with domestic animals and across the board how well that works as opposed to negative. And so I would say with the positive training is when your dog does something right, you reward them. And then also you have to set boundaries. So for a dog, if you don't want them to get in the bed, that means that they need to have a place to sleep at night and where they don't have access to the bed. And then when they do that, you reward them. And then over time, if you're still seeing that reward, then perhaps you can open your door back up at night. And as long as the dog stays doing their positive stuff, you should be all good.
Well, and I think that's it. I think, closing the door obviously would be the first one. And I've done that a few times. And sometimes he's been fine. And sometimes he's scratched at the door at the middle of the night, pain in the butt. So I think that's on me. I need to be a little bit more disciplined with him, as being a single guy for now. But, I don't think some girls that I have dated have been a fan of when a dog is jumping in the bed in the middle of the night. I don't think that goes so well. So need to work on that one a little bit. But
what I heard today is that Eric is 36 and he's looking to have a family. And the girls that he's dating aren't a fan of the dogs coming in the bed. I think I need to do a little matchmaking for you, my friend.
Hey, Jackie, I will never turn that down. I will always be grateful. If you find a nice girl, I know how to treat them well. And if they can get along with this little guy, then that makes it even better.
Well, good. It's not hard to get along with a sweet doggy, and that's the kind of girl you want.
Well, let me ask one last question for me. Why did you choose Boston Terriers? What for you made them your preferred dog?
Well, it's kind of a funny story, Eric. I grew up, we always had dogs, and we always had big dogs. Lots of hounds in my family. And I just loved, and I have a very blended family. So it's like my dad would have a dog, and my mom would have a dog, and my stepbrothers would have a dog. So everybody had dogs. And so we always had big dogs, and we had big backyards and that kind of thing. And then when my boyfriend and I were getting serious, and I said, you know what, we need to have a dog. We bought our house, and we have a big backyard. And he was like, a dog? Wait a minute. That's a lot of maintenance. So my husband's all about low maintenance. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, we're here, we're stable. We need a dog. I need a dog in my life. And so we went through and we had a top 20 list. My husband loves to research.
Wow.
He was not used to being around a lot. He did not know a whole lot about dogs, like I did. And of course, at this time, I was not in the dog industry. We were in, my husband and I were both landscape architects. And
okay.
so
wow.
we had a top 20 list, and then we narrowed it down to a top 10 list and a top 5 list. And basically it came down to, he wanted a small dog because of maintenance, right? Small dogs eat less, so that's less cost for food. Yep. They poop less, so less pickup. Yep. And then he needed a low shedder or minimal shedder, and a dog that in general was healthy and good with people. We knew we wanted to have a family, so it would be good with kids. And so the Boston Terrier made the top 5 list. And then we went to a dog show, like with the people who show their dogs, and it was all of that. So we went around. It was here in Arizona. It was in the Australia mountain area. And so we walked around and saw the different breeds, so he could really see close up and kind of pet them and talk to the owners. And of course, anyone you talk to will tell you that their breed is the right breed to get. But he really loved the Boston Terriers. And I always joke, we could have had a human child in the time, less time actually, than it took us to get a dog. Really? With all of that research, and then going and seeing the dogs, and we found a dog who the breeder thought she was pregnant, and then turns out she wasn't, but then she referred us to another one, and we waited for the doggy to be born, and then we got to Mr. Bond. Yeah, and he was a Christmas baby.
Wow, that is crazy. So what age? So you got him at 8 weeks, I assume?
Yes, 8 weeks. Yeah, well, we went and picked him out when he was, this baby was so little. He looked like a little mouse. No, he barely opened his eyes, right? And we said, we didn't know which one we wanted, but Mr. Bond was so sweet. And he let me pick him up, and he let me turn him over, and he let me talk to him like this. And he didn't struggle, and he was happy to do it, which most dogs aren't. And even right now, he's like, I'm not into that, because most dogs aren't.
Right.
And I said, he's the one. He's the one. And he
what
was
a good boy. What a good boy.
He's been, and honestly, I see a lot of dogs in my business, which is great for me because I love dogs. I get to see all different breeds and types and play with them. But I would recommend Boston Terriers to almost anyone who wants a dog who can be active at times, but also is happy to sit on the couch with you. Is a low maintenance dog and a low cost dog, because they are pretty healthy. And then for people who have families, my dogs have been amazing, because since then, so I have a business and employees and a husband, and now I have 2 children as well. And so they've been really good with the children.
That is awesome. This has been the perfect choice for me. I couldn't have gotten a better little guy here, and he's taught me a lot about life, responsibility, and he's been a great friend and a great companion. So I'm lucky to have him, and hopefully he'll be with me for many healthy years to come.
Many years. Well, Cubbie, you are adorable. I'm so glad you chose Eric, and Eric chose you as well. We're so happy to have you guys. Now, before we get off, I just have to know a little bit about football. So what do you think for the upcoming football season?
Well, I'm excited if we have football. I'm a little worried about college football. My Wildcats are supposed to play your Red Raiders in Lubbock this year. I really would love to see it happen. I'm not optimistic about having fans in stadiums anytime soon. So we're going to – today it's not looking great, but a lot can change as we've seen. You never know. A month from now, the whole game could be – we might have found something that allows people to go into stadiums, at least in a limited capacity. So I'm not going to give up on it.
Well, that would be a fun game. Have you ever been to Lubbock, Texas?
I have not. I would love to go sometime. It looks like a blast. And boy, that football team has been fun to watch over the years.
Yeah, well, and they've done a lot of improvements to that stadium and the city around it. It almost looks completely different from when I was there, and it's really a beautiful atmosphere. I don't get the chance to go back too often, but that would be a really fun time. So if you get the chance, if they've opened it up to people, you should definitely go.
Your alma mater is the home of the Super Bowl MVP, or where he went to school. Patrick Mahomes went to Texas Tech,
right.
and now obviously he's a star Super Bowl winning quarterback with the Chiefs. So go guns up, go Red Raiders.
Yes.
There you go. I like it.
Guns
I
up,
would love to go
Reds.
check it out sometime. You bet.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric, for joining us today and talking dogs and sipping some drinks. It's been a joy having you today and meeting Sir Cubbie. And so I feel for you going on the air and trying to find something to talk about. So best of luck with that. Stay healthy, stay well, and I hope you'll come on and talk with me again sometime.
Well, Jackie, I really enjoyed it. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a real honor to have been on with you. And most importantly, stay healthy, as you said during this time. Hang in there. As the owner of a small business, hang in there. Things will recover. We'll get back to normal. And I can't wait to bring this little guy into Smelly Dog sometime soon. I would love that.
Well, you're always welcome.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to my audience for listening today and for tuning in. Everyone, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. This will pass, and we'll all be able to come together again and hopefully be able to enjoy some sports sooner than later. Thank you again. I'm Jackie Brenda from Smelly Dog.